I've been using the Gamesense Sonar for about a month at this point, and for my first Glass Mousepad experience, I feel like it's pretty good. That being said, it's not without its flaws, some of which I'm not sure how they missed. It's smooth, there's control, which I'll get into that later, and I aim well on it, which is mostly what I'm looking for in this thing. Not to mention the general benefits of glass pads, like they're super easy to clean, and the surface stays consistent unless you do something stupid. It did take some time to get used to, however, probably partially because my old mouse pad, X-Ray Pad Aqua Control Plus, take a peek at that. That looks nice. That fraying is not the fault of the pad, it's mostly the fault of me and this knife. Anyway, obviously, it's in the name, that's a control pad. Going from a control cloth pad to a control glass pad, still a big jump, obviously. I've also seen people call the Sonar a balanced glass pad. That seems more reasonable to me. There's not a coating on it or anything, and I wasn't expecting much of a break-in period, but I think there is one, even if it's a small one, because I feel like it's faster now than it was when I started using it. In fact, when I got it out of the box, I was surprised at how slow it was. At the end of the day, it's a pretty good experience. That's what I'm looking for. On to the bad things. There are a few things that are objectively bad about this pad, in my experience anyway. Some of them are not so objective. One of which I mentioned earlier was the control aspect of it. When you buy the pad, you know what you're getting into. It's not advertised as a speed pad or anything, but there is some stopping power. More than I expected, as I mentioned. Less now. Yeah, I went over this already. But it does make the jump from cloth to glass less jarring, if that's what you're looking for. Now that I think about it, that's less of a bad thing. Anyway, the actually objectively bad things are the wobble and it doesn't stick to your desk at all. Like, it's kind of bad. I've had to, like, jerry-rig some coasters under there to make it not slip around on my desk. Never have that issue with a cloth pad, obviously, because the rubberized underside can warp to the shape of your desk. Also, the rubberized underside exists. On this, it's just like 6 little discs of rubber, which aren't particularly effective at stopping it from moving about. I almost forgot. Well, 2 things, actually. It's kind of loud. Doesn't matter, you're going to be wearing headphones most of the time. I have not noticed it whatsoever. Other thing is, it's a glass mouse pad. There's obviously the, not necessarily need, but sort of the need for a sleeve. I think it would be cool if one day we have some strange technology that makes it so we do not stick to glass. I don't know when that's happening, but sleeves, I didn't want to buy one. That seems like a waste of money to me. You know what I do have though is a sock. If you cut some holes in a sock, you've got a perfectly functional arm sleeve, as shown here. I may be poor, but I'm also stupid. Anyway, yeah, if you're confused why there's a sock on my arm during any of the clips, that's why. I've tried to play without a sleeve. It works for maybe 10 minutes, and then the sliding effect I mentioned earlier is kind of exacerbated by the stickiness of your arm. Anyway, moving on. Unboxing experience was fine. Pretty bare bones, but it's not like you need a lot with a mouse pad. It's packaged well in a big cardboard box with a bunch of foam. The only size this pad comes in is 500 by 400 millimeters. With a height of 4.7 millimeters. I haven't noticed much of an issue with the height. One thing they did get right is how rounded these edges are. It's very comfortable. When it comes to switching to a glass pad, I found this quite a large learning curve at first, especially with such a low friction compared to previous experiences. Your aim depends almost entirely on your raw mouse control, as there's very little you can do to stabilize yourself otherwise. This phenomenon would be a lot bigger even on a faster pad like the Skypad or the Empress. Every little twitch or jitter in your aim is noticeable in-game, but with practice, once you manage to smooth that out, it's only a good thing, because you end up having very little holding you back from your peak aim potential. Personally, I've only felt the benefit of a glass pad when I'm seriously zoned in. If your aim isn't relaxed, then you're punished for it on a glass pad, whereas on a cloth pad, you can sort of rely on the stopping power to smooth out your aim. Something to note about glass pads in general is they're known to eat skates a lot faster than cloth pads. I believe that is still the case for this pad. I've been using the X-Ray Pad Jade Dot skates, and this is what they look like after about 10 days of use compared to what they look like new, as well as the sound difference on the pad between day 1 and day 10. Finally, should you buy it? Short answer is sure, as long as it's still on sale and you want to get into glass mouse pads. Long answer, if it's not on sale, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Considering the sale price though, it's definitely one of the cheapest glass pads on the market. With the full price, however, it costs more than the Padsmith Empress, which I've heard better things about online. though I haven't had a chance to try it myself. When those are available again, or when the V2 comes out, I might have to pick one up though. Let me know if you want to see a video on that too, by the way. I think really the main thing that holds back the Sonar from being a good pad is just the wobble and the sliding issue I mentioned earlier. There's a chance my copy was just weird or some quality control issue, but keep that in mind if you want to pick one of those up. Besides that, the actual mousepad part of it feels quite good. Anyway, here's some gameplay with this. Stick around if you want to see it. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Yippee!